Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to the latest episode of Musical Musings. Our program airs every Wednesday at 1 p.m. This program is broadcast from Rajmakon, University of Technology, Peranakan. It will come to you in two parts. Our first part will introduce a song to you, and we'll discuss the singer or the band that sings it, and we will talk about its main themes. The theme means what the song is about. We'll then listen to the song, and then we'll get into our second part of our program, which will analyze the lyrics. And we will look especially at any difficult vocabulary, any slang or idioms. An idiom is like a saying that we use. Anything that may be hard to understand. We'll then close out with the news and the latest updates from the university as usual.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gary Gray. I am your host for the Musical Musings program. I'm an English teacher here at Rajmakon University of Technology, Peranakan. I come from the United States and have been teaching here for about 7 years. And so we've just begun this program this year, and we're going to start out today with introducing our song. Our song for this week is called Piano Man. It is a song by Billy Joel. Those of you who are familiar with our program here, you may know that a lot of our music is older music. In fact, this is another song that's a fairly old song and comes from a pretty old singer. Billy Joel, the singer for this song, was born in 1949, so he is 74 years old, and he is sort of not performing anymore. It's hard to say. I think he's not performing anymore. He just did what he said was going to be his final concert. So we'll see. He might come back. Who knows? But he does have some health issues, so probably he will not. He is probably done. But he literally just did his final concert like within the last month. So he is probably retired now at the age of 74. So he is getting kind of old to be out there still touring. So he was born in the state of New York in America. A lot of times when people think of New York, they think of the city, New York City. New York City is located in the state of New York, which is a pretty big state. It's not big like California or Texas, which are huge. But in that part of the country, most of our states are quite small. I am from that part of the country, and most of the states up there are pretty small. New York is one of the bigger states. So New York's a big state. So New York City is just a very small part of New York State. And in fact, Billy Joel is not from New York City. He is from nearby, however, so I'm sure he has often gone to New York City. He is from an area east of the city called Long Island, which, if you look at a picture of the state of New York, there is an island, and it is long. So that's how it got its name, Long Island. And that's where Billy Joel is from. All right, so Billy Joel, he has been performing since 1964. So that is about almost 60 years ago. So he's been performing for about 60 years. However, he didn't really begin his solo career. That means like singing by himself. He doesn't really have a band that he performs with. I mean, yeah, a little bit. There might be some accompaniment with guitar or drums a little bit here or there, but it's mostly him on piano. So he does I shouldn't say he doesn't have a band. He does, but it's just a small accompanying band. It's mostly just solo. Him, piano. Sometimes he'll play the harmonica as well. And he didn't begin that until about 1971. So he had about 6 or 7 years there where he was not really doing his own thing. He might have been performing with other groups or anything like that. There were a number of different things that he did prior to 1971. He started performing in 1964, but he really started his own career in 1971. He was most popular from the late 1970s through the 1980s. In 1977, he had one of his first big hits called Just the Way You Are, which was on an album called The Stranger. He had some bigger albums that came out after that, but that one was still quite big. That song especially was a big hit. And he had lots of other big hits from the late 1970s to the early and mid-1980s. I'll mention a few of them at the end of our program in case you want to look them up on YouTube and listen to them. They are pretty good. And as I mentioned before, he has just retired. Thankfully, he is still alive, on this program for some strange reason. Maybe it's because we focus on older performers. But wow, we have had a lot of singers pass away while we've been doing this program just for this year. And in fact, since our last program, I believe we missed 1 week, so 2 weeks ago since our last program, we've had a couple more people pass away. We had a singer by the name of Sinead O'Connor pass away. She was not that old. And another singer named Jimmy Buffett. He was getting fairly old. He was getting up there. And he has also passed away just within the past couple of weeks. Billy Joel, thankfully, he is still with us. He is quite old, and he apparently does have some health problems. That's why he's retiring. But he is still with us, thankfully. And he has only just retired. Okay, so as for this song, the name of this song is called Piano Man. Its main theme is really just about life, and a lot of it's about regrets that people have, things they wish they could have done, things they wish they were doing. Maybe they didn't have the opportunity or the ability or something like that, and so they're stuck in whatever they're doing in life. So it's a little bit of a sad song. But the people in the song, they kind of just deal with it. They just live with it. It's okay. They get by. They're just living their life. But nonetheless, they do have regrets. Now, a weird thing about this song is it was released in 1973. I say that's weird because remember I told you that Billy Joel was not popular until 1977. And this was one of his most popular songs. But it came out in 1973. So this song, when it first came out, it was pretty popular. It was his most popular song at the time. It got up to number 25 in the charts. The charts will rate songs most popular to the least among the top 50 or top 100. It got up to number 25, which is pretty good. That's not bad. But that was as high as it got, and that was really his most popular song until 1977 with Just the Way You Are, which came out in 77. So, yeah, it was a little bit weird that this song came out before then. And it really resurged. It became more popular again after 1977 when Billy Joel himself became popular. So the song kind of got popular again in the late 1970s and early 1980s. And in fact, they even made a new music video for it. I believe it was about 1985, they made a new video for it. So, one more thing of background about this before we get to the song. Billy Joel was singing as what we would call a lounge singer for part of his career. And this is kind of where he learned some of these stories. Now, what is a lounge singer? What does that mean? Okay, a lounge, that's like a bar where people go to relax. To lounge means to relax, actually. It's a word we don't use a lot in English, but that's what it means. It means to relax. So So it also became known as a place where you go to relax, particularly a type of bar. So a bar you go to sit around and relax is called a lounge. And a lot of times they will have musical performances there. A lot of times they're kind of quiet, like a piano player or something like that, like Billy Joel was. So Billy Joel was a lounge singer, as we would call it. He would sing and play the guitar. And a lot of times at these type of places, they would attract people who, maybe had a hard life. That's why they want to go someplace and just relax. They want to go to the lounge after work, take a break, relax. And so that's why you have a lot of these difficult stories, people with regrets in life, things like that. And so this is where Billy Joel got a lot of the stories from for this song. Again, the song is called Piano Man. And of course, Billy Joel is the Piano Man. All right, so let's get on to the song. As I always tell you, for those of you that are listening to us on YouTube, we cannot embed the song because of copyright reasons. So we're going to give you the link here on the upper right of the screen. Please click on that to watch the video for the song. And once that's done, you can just jump right back here for an explanation of the lyrics. And any one of you listening in some other way, whether you're streaming on the radio, whatever it is, you should be able to listen to the song just fine. Just keep on listening and the song will come on in just a moment. All right, let's get to this great song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome back to the program. Okay, so that was Piano Man by Billy Joel. That's a song about life and regrets. It's a bit of a long song, so let's just get right to the lyrics here and start analyzing them. Most of it is fairly easy, but there definitely are some sayings, some words he uses that might be a little confusing. And this doesn't come in the typical verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus style. There are verses. There is a chorus. But at one point he'll do kind of a double verse before he gets to the chorus, things like that. It's not really organized in the normal way. But there are verses and choruses. So our first verse, or our first part of the verse, goes, "It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, the regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin." All right, 9 o'clock on a Saturday, that's basically what time they open or what time people start coming in. 9 o'clock at night, it says the regular crowd shuffles in. In other words, it's the same people all the time. It's a place people go for comfort, like we kind of explained before, where people want to go relax. So you go to the same place all the time. It's a comforting place to go to. And then he says, there's an old man sitting next to me making love to his tonic and gin. That doesn't sound like that makes sense, right? Making love to your tonic and gin. Tonic and gin is a drink. We usually call it gin and tonic. I guess Billy Joel just flipped the words around to make sure it rhymed, because gin is rhyming with in. But that's the name of a drink. So you don't really make love to it. But think about someone holding their drink, especially if they're drinking it slowly. They probably have it in both hands, holding it up near their mouth, just kind of holding it there. And then they sip on it slowly. So it almost looks like, they're making love to their drink. So that's what he means there. Just drinking it slowly. Kind of, again, relaxing. That's what people go to the lounge for. All right, and we continue. He says, "Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes." Okay, son, can you play me a memory? In other words, he's asking for a song that will bring back memories from when he was young. He says, when I wore a younger man's clothes. In other words, he just means when he was younger. So that's what he's talking about. He doesn't really remember the song. He says, I'm not really sure how it goes. Doesn't really remember the song. So he's really just asking for some old song that, he would probably remember. Something that's going to bring back memories of when he was younger. Okay, and now we get to the chorus. It goes, sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Okay, so sing us a song, you're the piano man. All right, that makes sense. It says we're all in the mood for a melody. To be in the mood for something, it means that's what you're feeling like. You feel like doing something. So they feel like listening to a song. That's what a melody is. That's what the word melody is. Melody is referring to a song. So what that line is saying, it says, well, we're all in the mood for a melody. It means that they all really just want to hear a song. We want to hear a song, so play a song, piano man. It says, you've got us feeling all right, so they're feeling okay. They're kind of a sad group of people. They're going there because they feel sad about their life, but he's got them feeling okay. They're feeling better, so they're asking him to play a song. That's the chorus. All right, so then the next verse comes in. Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke or to light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. All right, that line is pretty simple. John at the bar is a friend of mine, so John is the bartender. He gets me my drinks for free, so, the bartender is his friend, so he doesn't have to pay for his drinks. A lot of bars are like that anyway with the people that are there working, like the lounge singer. They won't make them pay for their drinks, but some do. Some do. So John, being a friend of his, doesn't make him pay for his drinks. He's quick with a joke, so John's very funny, good sense of humor, and to light up your smoke. So back then, when this song was written, you could smoke at bars. Most bars in America you cannot smoke at anymore. It depends on what state you're in. When Billy Joel was singing this and coming up with this song, he was in California. You cannot smoke in a bar in California anymore. A lot of people, when they go to a bar, they do like to smoke. So they have an outside area where you can go out and smoke, but not inside the bar. But back then, when this song was written, you could. So the bartender is there with his lighter, ready to light up your cigarette. So, in other words, the bartender's really friendly. He's got a good sense of humor. He's ready to light your cigarette for you. Good guy. But it does say at the end of that verse that there's some place that he'd rather be. In other words, he has regrets about being there. Even though he's a nice guy, does his job well, he doesn't really want to be there. And that brings us the next part of this verse. He says, Bill, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Well, I'm sure that I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. All right, so there you have it. He's talking about his dreams. He really wants to be a movie star. Remember, this was taking place in Los Angeles and in L.A. That's where Billy Joel was singing the song. That's why he says, Bill, I believe this is killing me. Bill, that's Billy Joel. So Billy Joel even uses his real name in here, where he's talking to the bartender. So I'm not sure if the bartender's real name is John. I don't know. I don't know if Billy Joel used the real name of people in here, but John is the name he uses, but he does use his own real name. He uses Bill. So it says, Bill, I believe this is killing me. So in other words, it's just wrecking him. He doesn't, probably because he works there all night. So, he's probably sleeping all day. He doesn't have time for anything else. So this is it. This is his life now. The smile ran away from his face. In other words, he stopped smiling. So, he's feeling sad. He's sure that he could be a movie star if he could get out of this place. So that's his regrets about his life. He's saying what his dreams are. Doesn't think he's ever going to get there. Okay? Then we have a little bit where Billy Joel does this. La-da-da-da-da-da. And then we get to the next verse. Again, we don't go right to the chorus. That's what I mean about we don't always go straight to the chorus when you would expect it here. It's not kind of your standard verse, chorus arrangement. So we get to the next verse. Now Paul is a real estate novelist. He never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. All right, so Paul is a real estate novelist. Okay, not really sure what that even means. What's a real estate novelist? That's not a real job. But a novelist is a writer. A real estate novelist? Not really sure. But he could be doing real estate and writing. And those are like two jobs where, it's kind of tough. Real estate you can make a lot of money at if you're good at it and if you're lucky, if you're in it at the right time. But sometimes it's really tough work. And so is being a writer. You really have to get a good break. Yes, some writers can make a lot of money. Like the woman who wrote Harry Potter. She's a millionaire many times over. But there are very few people like her out there. It's hard to do. Hard to make a lot of money being a writer. So, he's got a hard life. Never had time for a wife. He's also really busy doing it. Busy doing his work. So again, regrets. Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. He's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. So Davy is not seeing many opportunities. Most people who are in the military, in the Navy, don't really want to stay there their whole lives. Some people do. My brother was kind of in the military his whole life, sort of. He worked as in private business, but contracted out, working for the military for a lot of his career as well. So still working with the military. So my brother worked there much of his life. So some people do like to do it. Well, I'm not sure my brother really liked his job either. So he may not have liked it either. But for some people, it's okay. But most people, yeah, not a job they want to do their whole life. And that's why it says, and probably will be for life. He's probably going to be doing it his whole life. And the way the song makes it sound, that's not a good thing. Okay. And we get to the rest of this part of this verse. It says, and the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Yes, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. All right, so the waitress is practicing politics. She's not really a politician. What that really means is the waitress, waitresses doing their job. They have to try to be very political with people because they have to be kind of nice with people maybe they don't even really like because they want to get good tips. In America, tipping is normal, so they want to get tips and things like that. They'll make more money. So that's really what that means. It says the businessman slowly gets stoned. Don't get confused by that word stoned. In modern slang, that's really the effect that drugs have on you. Like maybe if you smoke marijuana, you might get stoned. We don't really use that for drinking alcohol anymore. We just say you get drunk. But back then, it was kind of common to use that for any drug that would cause you to not behave normally. So that would include alcohol. So back when this song was written, stoned meant getting drunk as well. So that's what he's talking about there. He doesn't mean that the businessmen are sitting at the bar taking drugs. No, they're just drinking. They're just having drinks. So they're sharing a drink they call loneliness. All right, so that's not really a saying that we have. Nobody says that. But it is a saying that Billy Joel kind of made up for the song. Sharing a drink they call loneliness. All right, so in other words, all that means is that they are lonely. And so they're sharing a drink together. Sometimes when people are all struggling through the same thing, it's nice to just get together and talk about it. And if it's a sad thing, difficult thing, some people might want to have a drink over it. So they sit around, chat about their troubles, and have a drink. So they're sharing a drink they call loneliness. And it says, but it's better than drinking alone. Yeah, sometimes it makes you feel better. Sometimes it makes you feel better. It's not always the smartest thing to do. You shouldn't go out and just drink to get rid of your problems, but, sometimes that's how it is. That's how we are as humans. Sometimes that's just an easy way to kind of relax. I've even done it sometimes. Your host here has had some people in his life who have passed away in the last few years, and I have other friends who have had that happen to them too. And so, you just go out, have a drink together, and talk about how hard it is, or talk about the people you've lost. And, you just, like it says, it's better than drinking alone. You don't want to sit at home and get drunk. So, yeah. So I'm not saying this is a good thing, but, it's life. This is what people do. And that's what Billy Joel is singing about. So this is, even though it's a sad song, it's kind of just a realistic song, It's about life. This is how life is. Sometimes it's hard. And so in this song, the people they go to the lounge and they have a drink together, and it makes them feel better. All right, we then have the chorus one more time. Actually, we get it again a little bit later at the end, and then we get to our last verse. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, and the manager gives me a smile, 'cause he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. All right, that whole part is pretty easy. It's a good crowd for a Saturday. In other words, there's a lot of people there. There probably would be anyway on a Saturday, but I guess there's a whole lot of people, because he says it's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, so there must be lots of people there. The manager gives him a smile. Of course, the manager's making more money the more people that are there drinking. And he says, because he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, because they're there because they want the music. If they just wanted a drink, there are thousands of bars in America you could go to, just like there are here in Thailand. You could go anywhere if you just want a drink. So they're going there because they want the music with it. Helps them relax. And it helps them, as their last line says, to forget about life for a while. So they have all these regrets in life. They have all these problems. This helps them just relax and forget about their problems. All right, and we close out the song with, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? Okay, so the piano sounds like a carnival. A carnival is like a circus. So it's just that kind of upbeat music. So Billy Joel is trying to play some kind of happy music because he knows the people there are a little bit sad. So he's trying to play some happy music. It says the microphone smells like a beer. It's probably because the whole bar smells like a beer, and it's probably over the course of many years, it's probably had beer spilled on it. And so it's just trying to give that bar atmosphere. That's what he's talking about there with that line. So, it's been there so long. It's just, this is like part of the culture, going to the lounge to feel better about your life. That's part of the culture. And so the microphone's been there forever. So it smells like a beer now. The microphone smells like a beer. They sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. What does that mean? Put bread in his jar. All right, here's a slang word that we have. Bread in American English is slang for money. We don't use that word very much anymore. Most people don't say bread for money. It was much more common in the 1970s when the song was written. But that's what he means. So he probably has a tip jar sitting on top of the piano. Or maybe it's on the bar next to the piano. Maybe the piano's next to the bar, and so the tip jar. So it's a jar, like a glass container. That's what a jar is, a glass container, where they put money in to tip him. That's what that line means. They sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. So they're tipping him. They're giving him money. And they say, man, what are you doing here? That's probably because he's quite talented. They like him. That's why they're going there, right? That's why they show up there. So they like him. He's talented. They're thinking to themselves, this is a play, and he's playing, remember, he's playing upbeat music. We mentioned that with the piano, sounds like a carnival. So they're thinking he's really out of place here. You know, this is a bunch of sad people, depressed about their lives, so here's this guy, really talented, singing this happy, upbeat music. What is he doing here? Of course, he knows what he's doing there. He knows that they're coming to see him. They're putting bread in his jar. He's making good money. He's there because they're there, so he knows why he's there. But for them, it's a little bit weird. Why is this singer here singing these songs to us? All right, and that's really how the song ends. We get one more round of the chorus, and that's it. So that's it for this song. It really is a great storytelling song. And even though it's a sad song, I wouldn't look at it as being a really depressing song. I don't think it's really meant that way. It's really just, this is life. Life is not always easy for everyone. And that's what it's about. This is what some people do to try to deal with their difficult life. When they have some free time, they'll go to the lounge, they'll have a drink, they'll talk with some friends, listen to some music. And it works. It does make them feel better. We saw that a couple times in this song, where it says, and you've got us feeling all right. That's one of the lines. And then another one of the lines is that it's better than drinking alone. And another one of the lines is because he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. So they feel better when they're there. So it's not entirely a depressing song. No, it's more just about, this is life. Not always easy. All right. Well, Billy Joel, he has a lot of great songs other than just this. In fact, as I told you in the first part of our program, this song didn't get popular until some of his other songs came out. Well, it didn't get really popular. It was a little popular when it first came out. Some of his other great songs, Just the Way You Are, Only the Good Die Young, My Life, Pressure, Honestly, We Didn't Start the Fire. And most of them are telling stories. He's a great storytelling singer. So as I do with all of the musicians we talk about here on this program, I would recommend that you go check out some of these songs. Go check them out. They're really great songs. All right. Again, that's Billy Joel. That last name is Joel. Billy Joel. So go check him out. Check out some more of his songs. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's Musical Musings program. This has been your host, Gary Gray, and please stay with us and tune back in next week where I'll bring you another great song and great performer. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Musical musings, musical musings,